some of the arguments I've heard for the people who want us to draft a left tackle and move on from Orlando Brown was 2 years ago after that disaster in the Super Bowl, we revamped the O-line, but two of those guys on that O-line were rookies, being Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. Obviously, left tackle, a little different, the blind side spot. So you can't really compare center and right guard.
You can't compare them. Come on, man. You can't compare them. You can't compare. Listen, Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, center and guard, you're going to have somebody on the inside and outside. They're on both sides of you. You got help. You have help. So it's going to be easier for center and guard. It's going to be easier. You're not out of space. Left tackles are hard. That's why I'm telling you, left tackles do not grow on trees. They don't. Okay? That job out there, left tackle on an island, is significantly tougher, okay, than playing somewhere in space on inside O-line. Now, a lot of O-linemen may say, oh, well, shoot, I tell you what, we pass it like we passing, absolutely tougher. And I would be against anybody that says it's not. That do you out your mind if you believe it's not. Now, if you're going against a guy named like Aaron Donald, right, or Chris Jones, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one for you, okay? But at least, with center and guard, you can get your hands on guys right now. I'd rather get my hands on a guy immediately than give guys some space. You know what I'm saying? I'm retreating and the guy's going forward, right? So I almost got to catch a guy, give power while I'm pushing back to hit a guy. That's difficult, man. That is absolutely difficult. And so when people say, I'm just like, man, you haven't, I don't think you quite get it. I don't quite think you understand the difficulty what you're asking for out there, right? So that's why when you sit there, you're talking about some of these guys, like when I'm talking about top tackles, of all time, man, yeah, I mean, you got to realize how hard a job that is, especially now. Shoot, you thinking about 900, pass blocks in a year? Wow. Shoot.
And that also shows you when we talk about like some of the best tackles, you can only really think of like 5 or 6. It's tough to find a franchise left tackle. I mean, think about it. We might have aged ourselves a little bit by saying Willie Rofe and Jonathan Ogden, but like if you think about it, like I think people just need to kind of get out of their heads, like, oh, well, you only pay a guy like Prince or Trent Williams, not Trent. I keep saying Trent Williams. You pay him that much money, but like nobody else gets paid. I mean, you can't. It's apples and oranges. You can't compare, like you said, a guy who's playing almost 1,000 passing snaps to a guy who's playing. I mean, I don't know how many Trent Williams had, but I mean, you can't really compare the two.
I'll tell you how many Trent Williams had. I'll tell you exactly how many Trent had. Trent Williams had 555.
Like almost half.
Yes. Well, 555 and 892, I think it was, 893. So that's, I mean, come on, man. Right? That, I mean, so we gotta like look at the evidence. Right? Like all of it. That's what I'm talking about. Like the evidence of like the same thing, like not just the numbers, but also too, like Patrick dropping back further than everybody else. Like, hello, right? You're asking a guy to do a lot. You're asking the left tackle to do a lot. And so it's the same thing. If I'm a defensive end, I tell you defensive end, see a rookie come in and left tackle, a guy's dropping back far, like Patrick, I guarantee they think about eating his lunch. I promise you, every defensive end is sitting there thinking like, as a speed rusher, I'm going to back and get this guy. There's no way this guy is learning that right now. So it's been Tony Baselli, look, there's been some great tackles, some incredible tackles, right? But you can name them. You can name the top tackles.
Yeah.
And there's a reason, because that's why they get paid the big bucks. Why they get paid the big bucks? Because they have one of the toughest jobs.
Yeah.
That's why, right? Quarterbacks, they get paid because they have one of the toughest jobs. Corners going to get paid because they got one of the toughest jobs. Tight ends are not getting paid, but they got one of the toughest jobs. I had to just say that because it's, that's my job. What is it for real? Hey, Travis Kelce, I'm going to say that. Travis should be up there about 20, at least 20-something mil a year, at least, every bit of it. So,
hey, now he wants a team to fill up other positions. He wants
it, man. I'm all for it too, man. I commend the man for that, because that is a man of character, all those things. But also, too, the man needs to be paid what he's worth.
100%.
Period. Okay. So, especially what he's been doing. And we talking about productivity, what he's been given. He's got the top wide receiver. Come on, man. Paid off production. How about that? Do that. all this fair market. And that's what happens in fair market value. We start looking at things, you start looking at production. And so that's why teams are sitting there saying, do we pay a guy off this production? But yeah, you got to quantify. Is it going to be doing 900, pass protections?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.